My name is Alea Cobham, and this is my journey. Okay, my name is Alea Cobham, and my nickname is Hammy M for short. If you can see that on the sleeve right there, because Cobham, corner to Cobham and eggs. I'm a senior computer science major here at GSU. I don't know, what else did I say in the intro? Something weird about me, something that I like, hobbies. I like wearing wigs, guys. This is a wig. It's all, I didn't gotta secure it today. That's why I got the beret on, but I'm still cute. I like doing my makeup, and I like to code.
Hey. So, how did you get into CS?
Okay, I love telling the story. Oh my gosh. Because, my whole family is actually in medicine. My mom's a nurse, now a nurse practitioner. My dad, he's in surgery, actually. He just moved on to neurosurgery. My cousin, she's an EMT, so everybody's just kind of in the medical field, and I wasn't going to do that. I was always like the rebellious kid. Plus, I was like a math nerd, so I was trying to figure out what I could do that it was math-based, but it was something that allowed me to be myself. So I started off, going down the finance track. I had a whole internship at Goldman Sachs in high school.
Oh, wow.
And I hated it. I just didn't, it wasn't for me. It didn't match my personality. Like, you had to be like really just a cookie cutter, like to the way you looked, to the way you spoke, to like the different people you could hang out with. And it wasn't for me. So I was like, okay, I'm not doing that. Yeah. And then I tried a coding workshop. And the first thing they taught us was just taught us about algorithms. So they taught us how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Hey. They told us to tell a computer how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I don't know, I was just like, okay. They're like, who can tell a computer how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And, my hand shot straight up. I'm like, I'm about to show these people. And I was in this high class building. I was at Bloomberg in New York for the workshop. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to show these people I can make a sandwich. And they're like, okay, tell the robot what's the first thing you're going to do. I'm like, boom, we're going to get the bread. We're going to get the peanut butter, the jelly, going to lay it all out, and you got a sandwich. No, the computer does, your robot doesn't understand what you're talking about. I'm like, I just said it. I don't know how much simple, easy it can get. And we had to get down to the technicalities of getting the bread out of the bag, opening the bag. And I didn't think about it that way. Mm-hmm. And then in that same day, they taught us how to build a calculator, using Ruby on Rails. And I was just... And this was in high school. And I was like, wow, look at me. I went home, I showed my mom, I'm like, here, put 2 plus 2. You want exponents, and you got that 2 squared, 4 squared. I was so excited and so just proud of my little calculator. So that was when I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to be proud of everything that I do, my work. I get a chance to show my creative side as well. I don't know, it's for me, it's like a way to show my individuality, I would say.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
That's really awesome. And then you did say you're from New York and
yeah.
you're in Georgia State, so I was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
What inspired that move?
Well, okay, so I was born and raised in Trinidad, Laventille to be exact. But I always being raised in Trinidad is heat. Moving to New York was horrible for me with the snow and the ice. I just wanted to go back to a hot environment, but I couldn't go all the way to California because too much money. But also I wanted to stay in the city, and Georgia was the closest city for me at that point when I was picking colleges. So Atlanta was the place to be. But I'm excited that I came here. Southern hospitality has treated me well.
That's really awesome. Also, I guess experience being, so you're a senior, looking forward to graduating. How have the past 4 years been?
The past 4 years has been, what's a good word? Oh man, reflective. Yeah, and also it was really, I think, educational for me, not just for school in this sense, but I learned a lot about myself. Because this was a big move. I don't have any real family here. So yeah, it was really big about finding out who I am and who I want to be going forward.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And with that journey, looking at it from, I guess your your computer science journey with that, how was that? I know going to a PWI as a woman of color, even having gone through like some of the classes that with you, they really weren't that many of us do that. So like, how was that whole experience for you?
That experience, it's, I'm not gonna lie, it was tough. Like, even to this day, like, I'm taking a class and I walked in the first day and my professor was just shocked that I was a student. It's like, what are you doing here? And then, like, this is the upper level CS course. What do you think I'm doing here? You know, I worked for the department as a teaching assistant, and it's still always like a little confusion. And like, I know we talked about this, like even freshman year, we do this thing where we leave empty seats, like on both sides, because you never know who's going to sit next to you, and you want to, you know, leave it open. But I noticed that people weren't sitting next to me. And then I started, because I was curious, I wanted to find out why they weren't sitting next to me. Like, you know, do I have cooties or something? But it was really, I've had a lot of like mixed responses. Some people say I look intimidating. Some people think I look mean. I don't know if that's because I'm from New York. I got RBF. I don't know. But some people say I look mean, like I don't want to talk to them. Or it's just some people just think like they don't know what to think about me. They don't know where to place me. So they don't know if I'm smart. They don't care to ask. They just leave me alone, you know? So I kind of always felt, I mean, isolated is a good word. Isolated.
I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
What are some things that you think essentially could be done to change this? Like, if you were looking back, would you have any advice for anyone coming in or starting their journey into CS as a woman of color? Like, what can they do to maybe sort of build that community for themselves?
I think definitely just being open and honestly kind of like, I know it's hard to say, like, you have to block things out, but you really have to block that out, because I know for me, I think that's also part of the reason, like, why I held my back in so many situations, because of like what everybody else was like feeling about me, like instead of how I felt about me. Like, you know, I was kind of listening to like my professors, like, oh, what are you doing here? Like, you're not a CS major. Or I'm listening to my peers, like, you know, oh, you know, she doesn't know what's going on, or she's just whatever. And people are always going to judge you based off of how you look and your appearances, and you can't like always change people's perception of you, but you can change yourself. You know, I would say I think it's important to honestly stay true to who you are and not focus on what everybody else is doing. Because I think that's one of like where I honestly caught a lot of heat. I was always been focused on just like watching what the guys are doing, and like I want to be in like a group for a hackathon, like can somebody pick me, you know? But I was never, and then because no one picked me, I would like isolate myself from events like that, or from opportunities, or for even like asking someone. I would kind of be like, I'm like a really extroverted person, but I'm also really introverted. But I feel like I'm only introverted in my field. And that's based off of everything I was taking in, and I wasn't even trying, you know, really. So I think that's really what it is. Like, don't be afraid to try. It's so many different things. I don't know. It's like, don't be afraid to try, be yourself, remain true to who you are. Oh, also, don't be afraid to ask for help. That is a key thing, because I don't know. I feel like because I was in that spot where everybody's kind of just making their own assumptions about me. I was like, okay, I'm not going to ask these people because I want to do this for myself. You know, I want to prove to them instead of proving to myself. And that's where things get twisted. That's where things get funky. That's where, you know, stress comes on and emotions and everything. And that's not what it's supposed to be. You need to remain true to yourself. You want to work hard for you, not for everybody else around you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really true. So with graduation coming up, what are your plans, like, after graduation? What are you looking at going into, like, the tech world? What are the plans after graduation?
Oh, okay. So, you know, I was having a really hard time just getting internships, jobs, everything talking to people, networking, because A, I didn't want to ask for help. I wanted to do everything myself. B, I just wasn't confident in myself. So last semester, after Panthers in the Valley, after just interviewing, I actually asked for help from a friend, and I got a referral for this amazing company. And in the interview process, it was the first interview process where I wasn't nervous, I wasn't shaky. It was like the interview, I was myself, fully myself. Like I didn't try to like make up something like, oh, what do you do for fun? Like that was actually, you know, hold on, I'm sorry, I'm like moving. I like to do that, move past a lot of things for different things. But my best, like my favorite question out of the whole interview process was, what do you do for fun? Because usually like I have this like pre-recorded in my head answer like, oh, I like to go to hackathons, I like to code on the side, like I make websites and do this, like all these different things. But I was just like, you know what I like to do for fun, I really was like, I like to do my makeup and I like to put on wigs, I like to get dressed and I like to look cute, but not for like anybody, but for myself. And the interviewer threw all his pages, like all his papers off his desk, and he was just like, tell me more. And it was, I was so shocked. I was just like, and it's this old, you know, like he had on like a Rolex, and I was like, oh, sure. What do you want to know? He wants to know about like, how do you put your hair underneath the wigs? And I'm like, well, you kind of, and I was like, I related it to an algorithm for him. I'm like, the braiding techniques is kind of like an algorithm. You have to braid your hair a certain way.
Okay, that's so cool.
And he was just like, literally, they knocked on our door at the end of it, and he was like, I wish we had more time. And it was just the best feeling. Like, I didn't even need to get the job. It was just the best feeling to hear that somebody like acknowledged me for me. Like something that was completely like my authentic self. And I got the job.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what position is that?
So I'm going to be a technical consultant, which is a fancy word for 50% software engineer, 50% consultant.
Oh my gosh, that's really awesome. I'm really excited for you, and I'm sure you're also like really excited for that.
Yeah, I'm jumping off the walls.
I guess moving on to our last question, do you have any advice for any women of color that are watching this video right now or looking and thinking, well, they want to start their career in tech and they're not sure how to go about it?
Try everything. Try everything. Don't compare yourself to other people, definitely. And believe in yourself, because, you know, I walked into computer science, you know, not knowing what was going on. Freshman year, thinking I knew everything down packed with like my easy intro classes. Down back to like sophomore, junior year, like what is going on? Senior year, you know, I'm still have some kind of grasp of things, but you know, still, you know, I'm just reaching. But yeah, I think definitely it's just, you have to believe in yourself and know that if you set your mind to do whatever it is what you want to do, you can do it. And don't let the color of your skin be an obstacle in any of that, honestly.